Prologue. Callan. The invitation had been sitting on my desk for a week before I opened it. Hand-lettered calligraphy on heavy cream stock, sealed with wax the colour of old blood. The kind of thing that arrived at Dunraven regularly. Charity galas, estate auctions, the tedious social obligations that came with being heir to a dukedom. I'd planned to decline, like I always did. Then I'd seen the host's name. Lazzaro Benedetti. It meant nothing to most people, but in certain circles, my circles, it carried weight. He ran the Copper Chalice, one of Europe's most exclusive private clubs. It was headquartered in a Renaissance villa outside Florence. Not the kind of establishment with dress codes and champagne toasts, the kind where discretion was currency and desire was the only language spoken. I'd heard whispers about the event he was hosting at the villa, a week-long gathering for select members of the international community. Invitation only, heavily vetted. I shouldn't have cared. I had responsibilities at home. The estate, my work with Unit 23, the thorned thistle. Kiernan, still recovering from the gunshot wound that had nearly killed him, was wrapped up in his new life with Oliver and Ophelia, and someone needed to keep the club running smoothly in his absence. But something had been gnawing at me for months, a restlessness that no scene at the Thistle seemed to fill any more. So I'd packed a bag and flown to Florence, told myself it was networking, international relationship building that would benefit the club. I was lying, of course. I'd known I was lying, even as I boarded the plane. The villa rose from the Tuscan hills like something lifted from a Renaissance painting. Honey-coloured stone and terracotta tiles, cypress trees standing sentinel along the winding drive. The setting sun painted everything in shades of amber and rose, and the warm air carried the scent of lavender and ripening grapes. I moved through the club's private rooms with a glass of wine I barely tasted, exchanging nods with faces I recognized from clubs across the continent. The ground floor was civilized enough, a cocktail party like any other, beautiful people making small talk. But I could feel the undercurrent beneath the surface, the anticipation. Everyone here knew what would happen when the sun finished setting, and the real activities began. I climbed the curved staircase to the observation gallery that overlooked the main salon. Benedetti had designed the space for voyeurs, comfortable seating arranged behind one-way glass, allowing guests to watch the scenes below without interruption. A handful of people were already there, drinks in hand, their attention fixed on the room beneath us. I found a spot in the shadows, and when I looked down, the glass in my hand shattered. I didn't feel the wine soaking my fingers or the bite of broken crystal. I only saw her. Isla MacLeod's auburn hair, longer than I remembered, spilled down her bare back in waves that caught the candlelight like fire. Her pale skin was scattered with the freckles I'd traced with my fingertips years ago. Her wrists were bound behind her back, red rope expertly tied, the kind of kinbaku that required training and trust. She knelt on a platform in the centre of the room, with her head bowed, while some Italian bastard trailed a flogger across her shoulder. When she arched into his touch, I clenched my fists. I'd spent years convincing myself she was too innocent for my world, too bright, too good. I'd watched her grow from a shy teenager into a stunning woman, and I'd kept my distance, protecting her from my darkness. I'd told myself that wanting her was a sin I'd carry silently to my grave. Yet here she was. She'd crossed a fucking continent to keep this secret, come all the way to Tuscany so no one from home would ever know. And I'd found her anyway. I was moving before I made the conscious decision. 4 strides carried me down the stairs and across the salon floor. The Dom looked up as I approached, startled, but whatever he saw in my face made him take an instinctive step back. "This scene is over," I said, with a level of control I didn't feel. Isla's head snapped up, and her blue-green eyes, the colour of the sea off the Scottish coast, the colour I saw every time I closed mine, went wide with shock. "Callan?" "Get up. We're leaving." "You can't just—" She was trembling. "You have no right—" "I have every right." The words ripped out of me, raw and honest in a way I'd never allowed myself to be with her. I let her see it all, every year of wanting, every lie I told myself. "Get up." She raised her chin. "I don't belong to you." "Not yet." I stepped closer, close enough to see her pulse hammering in her throat. "But you will." She stared at my hand, then took it.